Back to Steppin' on the Beach, the only place to read your emails and tweets. It's Wednesday, July 8th. Thanks for joining us. I'm J.E. Skeets, and alongside me, ready to build a sandcastle, Tass Mellis.
Here we go.
What's up, Tassie? We got the bearded one, Trey Kirby.
Heyo.
Heyo.
The international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
Friends.
Lee. And last but not least, making the magic happen is JD.
Hello.
There he is, and here we are. Guys, thanks so much for sending in your questions and comments. Keep them coming. They never stop. Email us, nodunks@theathletic.com, or tweet them in if you want, @nodunкsinc, or use that hashtag nodunks. A few quick notes before we get to today's questions. First, make sure you check out Tuesday's podcast with television writer and NBA Twitter meme king, Josiah Johnson. This was a lot of fun. We posted it a little bit later in the day on Tuesday than normal, so highly recommend you go back and give that one a listen. It's always refreshing to find out someone that is so damn funny, like Josiah is also just a cool-ass guy and really, really nice. So that was a blast. So make sure you check out that Tuesday podcast. Also, quick update on the t-shirts. Guys, thanks so much for your patience with these. I know I said there was some going out maybe late last week. A lot of you emailing in, hey, just wanted to check, is my order, coming? It is. COVID did a number on our small t-shirt company. They lost a couple of employees, so it's down to like a 1 or 2 man operation, so they're busting their ass. But I've been told that if you ordered from $16.90 to $17.50, those are shipping this week, and then they've got another 50 queued up after that, so they are coming, guys. And again, apologize for the delay, but we'll get those t-shirts to you. If you don't have one, go to nodunks.com. But you know what?
$16.90 to $17.50. Does that mean you're giving the numbers out of how many shirts we've sold?
No, well, I mean, no, that's
Orders.
just a batch. That's
Okay.
a batch.
Okay.
Because you all get an order number when you get one. So I just thought, get a little more specific here.
And they didn't lose employees as in lost them to COVID, but they quit, to get morbid here.
I think they had to consolidate a little bit, Tass.
Okay.
Small business, it's not easy right now. But
Yep, 100%.
They're trying their best, and again, thank you guys for ordering a t-shirt, and we will get them to you. I promise. They'll get there eventually. Finally, before we get into the questions, Lee, we were going to save this till Friday, but let's just get it out of the way now. We got to hear your reaction to news that Magic Johnson doesn't write his own tweets. It's all a sham. It's all a sham, Lee.
I don't think that's true. I think Magic is just throwing everyone off the scent, because how can you possibly create something so perfect like that and have someone else be the brains behind it? It's all Magic. It's all Magic. I mean, it's perfect, I think. So I think Magic is actually the writer behind it, and this is just a great way to sort of twist the story a little bit.
What? Okay, that's a weird take. But he did say on the Rob Lowe podcast, which I didn't know that was a thing. But anyway,
is that the Rob Pelinka podcast?
I know, right? He said, Lee, I have somebody write them out. I tell them what I want to say, and they write them. So, Lee, that's interesting. Magic Johnson, you're saying, still is tweeting. It's still him writing it, even though he's not technically doing it. Fascinating, Lee.
It's course it's him. I mean, again, you try to find me the brain that can really put themselves right into Magic's shoes and just tweet so perfectly like he does. I mean, I just don't think I don't think there's a human out there who can do what Magic's brain wants him to do. It's all Magic.
But this is amazing. So Magic, in theory, leans back on his couch, just like you're set up, Lee, in your living room there, and goes, all right, hey, man, write this down. Tweet this out. I really like a couple MVP favorites. The following are Giannis, LeBron, Donovan Mitchell, Damian Lillard.
See, I think in that sense you've got it wrong. I think Magic's there and he's talking to somebody, and someone says, I think James Harden could win MVP this year. He goes, yeah, James Harden's having a good season. So is Russell Westbrook, actually. What about Chris Paul? Chris Paul's had a good season too. Don't forget LeBron. LeBron's pretty. Oh, LeBron. Yeah, LeBron's great too. And then
you know what? We should make this a tweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why you got to give the ghostwriter a lot of credit. They're the one that's looking at the phone saying, You got another 28 characters, man. Jam another player in there. Put somebody else on the list.
And then it's like, hey, did you know you can thread tweets now? Oh, that's good. I want to get that Hassan Whiteside take in there.
Exciting. All right, so you still believe it's actually Magic writing these, it sounds like.
Of course I do. Of course I do. I will never, it's like the Tooth Fairy or Santa Claus, man. I will never believe it's somebody else. It's all Magic.
Okay. I hope you're right. All right, let's get into the questions. We got some great ones here today.
First one here, it's a quickie and it's a bit pessimistic. NDZs, assign a percentage of likelihood to the following statement. The NBA will crown a champion in 2020. Give me 45%. That's from Nick in Cleveland. 45% that we're going to get a champion in Orlando. What do you think, Skeets?
Well, I'm going to drop it even lower after seeing the food they're giving these guys.
That's way more fake than the Magic Johnson tweet situation.
What do you mean?
Listen, if you look at the slide before, the menu is there. It's chicken parm, or there's a full meal that's coming. Just because you got a quick snapshot doesn't mean that's his whole meal. There's a lot more coming.
Well, it sure didn't look appetizing, Tass. I mean, it looks like an airline tray.
Well, ESPN's Malika Andrews has been posting everything she's been eating since she got to the bubble last week. She is getting far superior meals than what was in that little. She's got so much extra. She could feed all the people who are coming down to Disney this weekend. There's no way that Troy Daniels is getting a poorer meal than Malika Andrews. Not to worry, these guys are going to be eating all right. That's all I got to say.
I saw Mark Stein too. I mean, people were having a blast or going nuts on Twitter about this because, the photos are, sure, it doesn't look appetizing. It does look like something you would get on a flight where you're watching Mrs. Doubtfire and they pop the tray down in front of you, or the Fyre Festival and all that. But Stein, let everybody know in his newsletter, I guess it was, or he tweeted it, I can't remember. It's not going to look like that for the entire 3.5 months because the players have come and they have to do the quarantine for like whatever it is, 24 to 48 hours. You're going to get these trays right now, and then it will turn more into a hotel experience, I guess, once the players are no longer stuck in quarantine. But I don't know, Lee, it didn't I hear what Tass is saying. You're right, Malika Andrews is eating like a queen. But the photos we saw, it looked a little rough, no?
Yeah, and you would have thought that the NBA would have been a little bit more wary of something like that because of the Fyre Festival. Everyone's going to blast out those photos of their food, and so you would think they would have tried to sexy it up a little bit. To answer the sort of question though, I started off kind of high, but I am dropping because again, COVID. I think we had the most recorded cases in the US yesterday since this whole thing started. So it's not great. And we've seen so many players and teams have so many people test positive that I think it's going to happen that one or two teams are just going to it's going to go through those teams and it's going to really jeopardize the whole tournament or, restart, resumption, whatever you want to call it. So I'm 45% about where I am right now, honestly, less than 50%. I'm not convinced that we can get 2.5-3 months worth of basketball without some sort of stoppage again.
I will say I was having a laugh about the food and all that, but here's a positively, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong. The Raptors have been in Florida since June 22nd, and they were working out at Florida Gulf Coast University, and they're living the hotel life, and they're living like their own little sort of bubble life. And I think Nick Nurse just recently said he does feel more safe with the concept of this maybe working because they've been going through it. They've had no new cases or anything like that within their team, so that's good. He feels like they're in somewhat of a safe environment, so maybe that is a positive. I think. Trey, am I wrong?
I'm way over 45%. I think that the league is going to crown a champion because of things that you're saying. They think it's a lot safer in the bubble. Besides, we've also had 5% of players have already tested positive. A quarter of teams have closed facilities, and there are massive case numbers in Florida, not to mention countrywide. And that has prompted zero talk from the league about when they would stop. We haven't heard anything about a plan or a metric that would make them say it's actually time here to shut down. I think it's going to be like when things got shut down in March. It's just going to be waiting till the last possible minute. Something's going to happen, and if that actually does happen, if it's a player testing positive like Rudy Gobert did, that's when the league says, okay, we officially can't do this. That night, March 11th, they were still planning on playing games with no fans in the stands around in some parts of the country, despite the fact that, San Francisco had said you can't have gatherings over 1,000 people. But they were still going to try and play games. They're just going to wait as long as they possibly can. It feels like we are a snowball gaining momentum. I think that, there are different scenarios, surely, that would trigger a shutdown. I think it will be different if LeBron James is diagnosed with coronavirus compared to Troy Daniels. But I don't think that there seems like there's necessarily a shutdown plan. It's probably just going to be when we see it, we see it.
I've got a question about Troy Daniels because he's bounced around the league. What team does he play for?
The Grizzlies, I think.
Yeah, he started on the Lakers, but they waived him.
Okay, just curious.
Here's the real question, Tass. What hotel is he in?
Yeah, right. and that's an interesting thing. We talked to Carly Wiesel earlier, the Disney expert, and she said that a lot of these hotels are opening, and they are starting to open this Saturday. But that being said, I have faith in the NBA that these people will not be crossing the paths of NBA players on a regular, and that the Disney employees shouldn't be seeing the NBA personnel. Listen, in my non-expert opinion, I'm on the timeline or the sort of the wavelength with Trey, in that at the end of it all, there's going to be a champion. There may be a quick hiatus where we have to say, whoa, a couple guys on the Lakers got it. We got to wait a week. I mean, I think everything is sort of a fluid situation here. I don't think that the plans have been drawn up and they're going to stick to it. I mean, the guidelines are there, that's for sure. But if something has to change, if they have to say, one of the top teams needs to get healthy, then we'll wait a few days. Or I think there's lots of balls up in the air. I think the good thing is that Adam Silver has softened his stance a little bit in the last few weeks, and he has said if it is rampant and it runs through a team, then we will stop. Or, he didn't say if it runs through a team, but there are
He said significant amount of positive cases. Yeah,
right,
that's right.
Yeah.
Inside the protected campus. Yeah.
Right, and before there wasn't any sort of mention of that whatsoever.
Yeah,
there wasn't any mention that we would stop whatsoever.
Right. The problem is, and Trey said it, is what does significant amount mean?
I don't
that's
think
the grey area.
Yeah.
I think it comes. I honestly believe that comes down to the names of the players.
Yeah, it might.
If it's LeBron and Anthony Davis and Dwight Howard, whoever, then I think that's significant. If it's end of the bench guys, I think they'd probably write it out personally.
Right, and then maybe that even depends on the team, right? Like, we're already looking at the Nets. The Nets aren't sending anybody now. I mean, Lee, you're going to be playing. You're getting the call up soon. And
I hope so.
It's a part of it is like, well, sorry, it's the Nets. They weren't going to win the title anyway, right?
Yeah,
okay. But if that's the Lakers or if that's the Bucks or whoever, one of the elite teams, then I think there's a hell of more of an issue where you're like, well, I don't know. This is a little odd now. We're going to have one of our best teams, our title contenders, and they don't have 5 or 6 of their guys.
And the timing as well. If it's into the playoffs and a team's up, 3-1 or something like that, and the team that's 3-1 up, if they're the team that suffers, then again, I don't know what the league does. They're like, well, we can't just let them keep playing, but the other team's probably now going to come back and win the series. So it's tough. But I think that's the thing. Ultimately, Adam Silver is going to probably cross all these bridges when he comes to them, rather than sort of say flat out, this is what we're doing if this happens and this is what we're doing if that happens. I think he'll just have to deal with it as they turn up. But, like what Nick Nurse and the Raptors are saying there, I can understand why they probably feel okay right now because they are confined to this their own bubble. But it's when these teams start playing each other and everyone starts blending together, that's when I think the most danger is that the virus can spread so easily because they're going to be breathing all over each other, sweating all over each other, a lot of contact, a lot of physical close contact, and that's where the virus spreads.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's even before that, though, because, they've been sort of all in their, they're all mini camps, and they've been tested, and that was baked into the timeline. We're going to have everybody test. You're not going to go down if you're testing positive. You're going to wait it out. You're going to have to come individually if the rest of your team is going. And that's what happened in the MLS as well. Everybody was seemingly healthy, and then Dallas FC went down to Orlando. They're also playing in Orlando, and Major League Soccer is having a tournament down there, and then all of a sudden it ran rampant through their team after they got down there. So the transition from the cities down there is an issue, and I think even the NBA has learned from Dallas FC's situation. So it could happen any day. It doesn't matter if they're sweating on each other in 3 weeks. It could happen this week, and I think that's what's definitely going to happen. I think you can 100% that something is going to happen in the next couple of weeks where guys can't play as much or train as much, and we're going to be talking about, whoa, these guys are rusty. Whoa, they have to take some more time to practice, and so that is going to affect the basketball. I think that is something that you can take that to the bank. At first, at least, maybe in the playoffs things will be fine, but we're going to see some major rust, and I think the 8-game schedule is going to be more of a warm up in the end, because it's going to take some time to get down there and quarantine, and this 3-week training camp is going to turn into 2 weeks and 1.5 weeks, and that, I mean, that's another guess, but I assume that's what's going to happen.
Let's hear from you guys out there. What percentage that we get? How confident are you feeling we get a 2020 champion? Let us know on Twitter. Next one here, Thrunks. Longtime fan since that room full of drawers. This has been a long-time fan, if you get that reference. This guy's been watching or listening for a long time. Your conversation a while back about DeMar DeRozan's Hall of Fame chances got me thinking. Obviously, the Hall of Fame is a place to honor really good players. But as the internet has confirmed for me, it's not actually called the Hall of Very Good. It is called the Hall of Fame, despite the demonstrable fact that many of the players in there are not, in fact, famous. It bothers me that the Hall of Fame will admit players who are good, but not famous, while excluding players who are famous, but not necessarily good enough on the court to merit inclusion. So my question, this is a fun one. What bad or even decent player would you send to the Hall on the basis of actual fame or infamy, rather than playing ability? My choices would be Muggsy Bogues for being short, and Anthony Mason for being mocked on a Notorious B.I.G. track. Thanks for all you do. That's from Silas in Chicago. It's a great point and a very fun question. The Hall of Fame task. So who's getting in just on pure fame reasons?
Muggsy Bogues, a great one.
It's a great one.
Heard him mentioned on a podcast this last week. He hasn't played for a very long time. He's 5'3". Put him in there. I think another guy famous for many, many reasons, but not so much his basketball play, is Zaza Pachulia.
Oh.
We're putting that big head into the Hall of Fame. Now, he changed the game in multiple ways, and I've created an exhibit, a room for Zaza Pachulia. So you walk into a room in the Hall of Fame. We all know he had a monster noggin. It was probably an 8-incher. He's probably wearing an 8, 8.25, 8.5 hat. So when you walk into this room, huge bust of his head in the middle of the room. Just a huge, huge head. On one wall, the video of him saying, "Nothing easy, baby," is just looping because it's infamous. Another wall, video of him stepping under Kawhi Leonard and sending Kawhi away from the Spurs eventually and to the Toronto Raptors. And a quick shot of him winning with the Raptors, maybe Kawhi winning with the Clippers. We can add that in a bit later. Another wall, it's the final 2016 All-Star voting tally when Zaza Pachulia was number 4 among forwards. And you want to talk about infamy. We talked about Zaza Pachulia not being deserving of being an All-Star, and the whole country of Georgia came after us on Facebook.
Oh, no.
For real.
Terrifying.
In some way, yeah, exactly. Zuckerberg, we need to do a little bit of filtering there. There's a lot of swearing coming at us. And because, we talked about Zaza Pachulia not being deserving of an All-Star. He wasn't one of the best 3 forwards that year. And they changed the rules essentially after that to make sure that it was a more balanced voting system that fans couldn't just get you in. So he's changed history. I think Zaza gets a room.
Wow, that's good. Good breakdown there. He is famous and he's not very good. But put him in the Hall of Fame.
16 years in the NBA. But I will push back against the not being good. If you're in the NBA...
Oh, yeah, okay.
I mean, okay, we're talking about
the Hall of Fame, man.
Yeah, okay.
Putting everybody in. Hey, did you play basketball? You're in the Hall of Fame.
No. But the not being good, I mean, come on. The guy's, pretty good. Okay.
I mean, I was looking at the levels of a Hall of Fame player.
Yeah. I know. But the Silas is like, hey, you're not good. But you're right. Level. Hey, he wasn't an All-Star. He's probably not going to be a Hall of Famer.
No, probably not. What about you, Trey? Who you got going in?
If you're putting in Muggsy, you got to put in Manute Bol as well. And you should probably just put in that picture of the two of them standing next to each other. But for me, the guy to invite is Gilbert Arenas. He was kind
I got him too. Yeah.
See? Everybody loved him. Basically 04 to 07, he started with the Warriors. He became a rule himself, the Gilbert Arenas rule, which made it easier for teams to sign their second-round draft picks after they finally became a free agent. He averaged almost 30 a game in back-to-back seasons. He finally became an all-star starter. He was basically the first NBA blogger with Dave McMenamin acting as the Magic Johnson tweeter for him. Gilbert would just tell Dave McMenamin something and type it out. Maybe it's Dave McMenamin who's writing Magic Johnson's tweets. He's in LA.
Ooh.
We might have just cracked the case here, but Gilbert Arenas finally started an all-star game, soon got hurt after, signed a humongous deal, wasn't really able to get healthy. Then he brought a gun into the locker room, and it was basically all over for Gilbert Arenas. But for 3 years, he was like an internet superhero.
Yeah. Didn't he come after you on Twitter one day too, Trey?
I got a little twisted up in the Joe Mandy business. Little Mandy mania.
He was a great. I had exactly the same choice because he had that window of like 3 or 4 years where he was like a superstar in the league, 3-time All-Star. I think the Wizards waived him too before he even began that massive contract because of the gun incident, I believe. I don't think he actually played a season under that $111 million contract because he signed it and it was like the following year, and then he did all the gun stuff. So
did all the gun stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like, what a way to sort of like boot yourself out of the league. Becoming just such a trouble guy to have for a team. So yeah, I think he's a great choice for this answer.
I had him down too. If we're doing Muggsy, I think you got to make a case for Spud Webb then too, right? I mean, if you're that height and you're in the NBA, I mean, you should go in because you're just going to be a fan favorite. And, he's got the dunk contest win too and was a decent player, obviously not a Hall of Fame type of player, but great name too. So he's just along the same lines as Muggsy, who's a no-brainer for the Hall of Actual Fame. I put Spud in too, but those are all really good answers.
All right, next email here. Evening, No Dunkers. This question may have been answered in years past, but it's always a fun topic of conversation. Has your team ever drafted someone over the player you wanted, but both players turned out okay? You know what? I'm not sure we've ever had that question. Well, we probably have. I'll set the scene for my question. It's draft day 2017, the best holiday of the year. Me and some fellow Heat bros have a 24-pack chillin'.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, baby. The Heat are set to select at number 13, and John Collins, who went to high school in Miami and was a dominant ACC player, is still available. The pick is in. It's Bam Adebayo. While donning my D-Wade jersey, I immediately yell out at my TV in disgust over how we drafted a, quote, bum from Kentucky with limited abilities over the local Collins kid. Of course, my friends videoed this reaction and still to this day hold it over my head. Both players have to this point showed incredible flashes and are all-star caliber players already. Well, Bam is an all-star. Mm-hmm. Has there been an instance when you were upset over your team's draft decision that ultimately worked out for all parties involved? Thanks for the continued laughs. That's from Ryder in St. Louis.
I struggled with this question, a big part because I don't follow college basketball all that closely, so I don't have like super strong opinions generally on like, we got to get that guy or that guy's better than that guy, Like, I just don't care all that much about college basketball, and really until they're in the NBA, I'm not watching a ton of them outside of maybe highlights and stuff like that, or big college games, maybe some March Madness. But I have a weird answer, I guess. First draft I ever went to was the 2006 draft, and our Raptors had the number 1 pick. And lo and behold, who do they take? It's Andrea Bargnani, the first overall pick. Now, I am on the record saying, in retrospect, Bargnani a bit ahead of his time as a 7-foot 3-point shooter. Really didn't do a whole lot else, but was pretty damn decent. Was a 20-point per game scorer there for 1 year, and was fine. I mean, he's not going in the Hall of Fame. Okay, I don't care whatever the metrics are. But the Blazers took LaMarcus Aldridge at number 2. And, I'm just like wondering, like, it worked out for both of them, really. Like Bargnani, we got some good jokes off being Raptors fans. We got some good viral videos out of him. And then LaMarcus Aldridge is like possibly a borderline Hall of Famer when it's all said and done. I think he'll be close, if not in. I think some people would have him in. So, yeah, it worked out well for both. Maybe I was like at the time like, oh, Bargnani? Like, who is this guy even? And maybe I knew Aldridge a little bit more. But in the end, I love the Raptors Bargnani days. I can't believe I'm saying it.
It's crazy, but I
fun.
picked him too. That was my pick for this. Maybe because I was deep in the Brian Colangelo Kool-Aid back then. That was Brian Colangelo's first pick as GM for the Raps. He was pumped to take a European. I also jumped on his back. I also said, yeah, let's do this. And yeah, LaMarcus Aldridge at number 2, the Bulls, and then they traded him immediately to the Blazers. Right. Yeah, sure. And Brandon Roy down there, sure, way better. But yeah, we made a great video. One of our best videos. Kanye West's Power. No one man should have all that pasta. JD did a number on that video. It's a beautiful visual. So thanks to Kanye. Thanks to Bargs. And what do you want? What do you want? 2 more rebounds from LaMarcus Aldridge?
Well, that's crazy to think. Like, put LaMarcus Aldridge at the number 1 spot in a Toronto Raptor uniform. I mean, I think it negatively hurts his chances of maybe being a Hall of Famer. Lee, I don't know. You agree? Like,
probably becomes Bargnani, right? I mean, their games are not totally different.
Yeah. Aldridge is better.
Yeah, it's still really
good. They're both, like Aldridge is a better scorer inside, no doubt about it. He's a better overall player. Actually plays defense. Actually tries. Is still in the NBA. Doesn't get hurt all the time. I understand that Aldridge is better, but they can both shoot it from far away. And
I'll add to all this too in a weird, twisted way. It almost has to go like this. It has to go Bargnani. It has to go Aldridge, or otherwise, we start messing around with it. We get a butterfly effect. And then Lowry doesn't get drafted to the Grizzlies, who then ultimately doesn't make his way to the Raptors, who ultimately doesn't bring us a title or help bring us a title.
That's the way you got to look at it now, big picture. Would LaMarcus Aldridge have stayed more than 4 or 5 seasons in Toronto? Probably not.
Unlikely.
Yeah.
Unlikely.
So Bargnani gets traded, and Kyle Lowry comes in, and ultimately, the Raptors go on to win a championship. Would they have won one with LaMarcus Aldridge?
The Raptors won a championship because they drafted Bargnani.
That's next level.
It did work out for everybody.
You just got to look at all the jigsaw puzzle pieces, how they all fit together, and it's like it did work out perfectly for them. So I just sort of feel that LaMarcus would have gotten to the stage where he was like, I can't win here, I want to go back, and it would have been another case of like, all right, another star gets drafted, but he doesn't want to stay in Toronto. So worked out for the best.
What about you?
It definitely worked out that way for Chris Bosh, who didn't want to play with Andrea Bargnani anymore. Maybe he would have played with LaMarcus Aldridge. Maybe. But
it'd be like having the same guy out there.
Yeah,
really weird. What about you, Trey, with the Bulls?
Jordan Bell was an embarrassing draft mistake for the Bulls for exactly 1 season. The Bulls took him right at the beginning of the second round, 2017, traded him immediately for $3.5 million, all for the cash considerations. Jordan Bell then gets his first career start about 12 games into the year. He's like, doing the little money hands, rubbing his fingers in pregame, saying, hey, how's cash considerations doing over there? The Warriors go out and beat the Bulls by 49 points. It's a disaster. The Bulls look like idiots for just giving away a player. The Warriors win a title. Jordan Bell helps out. But rookie year was basically Jordan Bell's peak. He hasn't really been able to get back to that sort of a contributor level. People had a lot of expectations for him after that first year. He might be the new Draymond Green, some were saying. Didn't turn out that way. The Bulls, maybe they invested that $3.5 million. Maybe that's what they're using to pay Jim Boylan. That's how they got the punch clock in. I don't know what they actually got for the $3.5 million, but they didn't really lose out on Jordan Bell, I don't think.
All right, interesting answer. Next one here. What up, No Dunks? I was looking back at this year's past draft and thinking about possible stars drafted late. One player who stood out was Bol, who I believe can be pretty good sixth man still for the Nuggets, maybe in a few years. He has the potential and game to reach that level, but his unique body and skill could hurt his chances. Denver, of course, struck gold with Michael Porter Jr. Can they do it again? with Bol. Who is someone you believe in that was recently drafted or maybe signed that you believe will become a key piece for their NBA team soon? Thanks for the consistent 5-star podcast. That's from Henry in SoCal. Hopefully he has jumped over to our iTunes Apple page and left us that 5-star podcast review. Hopefully you have, Henry. But what do you think, Trey? A guy that been recently drafted or signed that you believe could be a key piece?
Not drafted guys or super future guys, but players that I think are going to actually help out in the bubble, could actually be contributors in the bubble. I am a J.R. Smith believer. We're going to have a J.R. Smith moment somehow.
Wow.
It's still early. I'm still feeling optimistic. So I would think it's going to be a good moment, but there's no guarantees with J.R. Smith. And I also think the Rockets have done a smart thing picking up Luke Mbah-a-Moute and David Nwaba. They are going to be playing small. They're going to need a lot of wings. They might let Mbah-a-Moute play center a little bit. David Nwaba, I think, is actually very good. I think both of those guys will be contributors because, Mike D'Antoni seems to get the most out of role players and guys who just sort of stick to what they're the best at. He finds out a way to make them excel at what they're the best at. And then both of those guys are going to give the Rockets a little on the defensive end. So I can see both of those two little minor signings actually paying off.
Can't wait. I cannot wait to watch the Houston Rockets. Mike D'Antoni has already sort of backpedaled. He told the Athletics' Kelly Iko, listen, I'm done going with the short rotations. I'm going to play like 9 guys. And now in an interview this week, I might play 7, 8, 9 guys. But it's so interesting to watch those guys because there's so many guys, so many players on that roster that were amazing in 2014. Tyson Chandler, you mentioned. There's Jeff Green, Damari Carroll. I think David Nwaba he's going to be hurt this coming tournament and won't be playing till next year.
Right.
But Robert Covington. Like there's just this. Daryl Morey just signs interesting guys. Cannot wait to see what they do.
And they couldn't sign Gerald Green again, right? Which they would have if they could have. Yeah.
Because they waived him. Yeah.
Yep. What about you, Lee?
I like Anthony Simons for the Blazers. He was a first rounder a couple of years ago. I think he played in that game we commentated on, I think. He showed a couple of flashes this year for the Blazers, and I think he's going to be a good player in a couple of years. I think he's got some good, being playing behind Dame and CJ McCollum. I think he's going to learn the ropes a little bit there, and when an opportunity presents, I think he's going to be a good player. So, had a couple of 20-point games this year. I mean, it's he's playing on the Blazers, so he doesn't get huge national attention. But from what I've seen of him, I think he's a player. I know there was a few trade rumors about the Blazers, and they were like, "We're not trading Anthony Simons. We want to keep him." So they are pretty high on him, and I can see why. I think as he grows, he could almost be like another CJ. Sort of just come through the ranks and as his game develops, becomes a pretty consistent, reliable sort of scoring option for them.
Yeah, that's a good answer. My guy he was drafted a couple of years ago now, so I don't know if you want to count it as recently, but I'm just convinced, and Lee, you can go ahead and drop your, your Simpsons line on me, but I am convinced, in all honesty, that Dylan Brooks, in his career, is going to be like a real key piece, like a strong contributor to like a championship team. I don't know, just the way he plays and what he can give you on both sides a little bit. You can just see it. That he'll probably pick up a title somewhere down the line. It could be 10 years from now, and it may not be with the Grizzlies, but some other team. But go ahead, Lee. Drop that.
He had a good season. Dylan Brooks. Just good thing he wasn't confused for Marshawn Brooks again, like he was in his first year.
Made a name for himself. His own name.
Exactly.
Carved it out.
Yeah, and although he is Canadian, he's got a little Jamal Murray Canadian in him. He's a confident dude.
Yeah, we got these confident Canadians now. It's nice.
Yeah. Not these Meek Mill Canadians, Okay, I'll throw in Cam Reddish. It's a bit of a homer call as well, living in Atlanta here, but I'm pumped for Cam Reddish. I think it's a real potential type guy. It's a real Jeff Green type situation. Ceiling high, and maybe the floor is pretty low as well. But he's cool in that he's right-handed, but it almost seems like he's left-handed because he dribbles with his left hand all the frickin' time.
Yep.
But I think he too will be a contributor to a real good team. I think he can do both. Both sides of the ball.
I see Cam quite a bit out here on the streets. He lives just up the road here from me, so he's out walking his dog. Yeah.
Does he really?
Yeah. I haven't seen him for a while though. I don't know. Maybe he's.
Do you think he's buying street ribs like you are?
I haven't mentioned that to him, but maybe I will one day when I'm walking past. Say, Cam, you want some ribs? I've got firing up the grill later on. But I am a vegetarian though, okay? So I'm not going to eat them. We're just going to cook them.
You want me to make you some ribs?
Can I buy you some ribs from the street and cook them for you? Because I'm a vegetarian.
Oh yeah, a failing vegetarian.
All right, next one here. Hey, Naughties. My son recently got a dartboard, and he's given NBA Naughties. What is Naughties? Anyway,
Noddies? Nodies, yeah.
Yeah, probably
Noties?
noties, I
Okay.
guess. No donkeys, nodies.
Bad spelling. My son recently got a dartboard, and he's given NBA-themed names to the various targets. Hitting the red bullseye is called a Michael Red. The green outer circle is called a Gerald Green. And missing the board altogether and hitting the wall behind it is called a John Wall. Very nice. I don't think I've ever been more proud as a father. What everyday things have you given NBA-related names to? That's from Tim in Australia.
Yeah.
Lee, get us started.
Well, in Toronto, I used to live at an address that was number 12 Aldridge Drive. So
wow.
So I used to just say to people, I live at Lamarcus. And do you guys remember from the score, Brendan Lynch? He used to cut court cuts.
Yeah.
Oh,
He used to love that. I was like, I live at Lamarcus. And he was, yeah, it was great. He had an NBA themed address too, but I was trying to think of what it was, but I can't remember. But yeah,
Where was Aldridge Street or whatever?
it's just off the Danforth,
Oh,
yeah.
Didn't know that.
So yeah.
What, over where JD used to live, I assume then.
Yeah.
That way, yeah.
Right off Danny Fortson Drive.
All right, so you just called your own place of residence, the
Just
Lamarcus.
Lamarcus,
I'm sure a
yeah.
lot of people got that reference.
Yeah, hardly anyone. But
Oh, a ton of people would have got it if the Raptors took him number one.
Oh yeah, imagine what it would have been worth if it stayed and won a championship and gone in the Hall of Fame.
Would be the spot to have in Toronto. I've struggled a little bit with this question too. I know there are a million things that I give an NBA related name to, but I couldn't think of any. So I asked my buddies who always do this too. I'm like, what am I forgetting? I'm just drawing a blank. I know we do this. And the one response I got was from my buddy Dub, and he says, for whatever reason, we call the crapper the Timmy Deuce can. Because it sounds like his name. And you're taking a deuce in it. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I was looking for. Thank you very much. So I'll go Timmy Deuce can. Just calling the shitter that. That's all it is. And the only thing I'll add is a Swaggy P type of shirt, like a fancy shirt. Swaggy Lee. It's like a really bold and bright shirt. You know, I will now sort of refer to that as like a Swaggy P type shirt or something like that. So those are my two answers.
Trey, you got one?
Well, we have our office plant that I had to bring home. It's Danny Green, of course. When I take a nap, if I ever take a nap, I have to set my timers always for 24 minutes. Call it taking a 24. It's like taking a 20, but not quite the same. And just like you guys, I'm sure, I call my penis Dickie Simpkins.
Of course.
I call mine Muggsy.
Hey, save that for the ad reads. In
Right. Do you want to turn your Muggsy into a minute bowl? You need Roman. You got anything, Tess?
I'll throw one in here. Yeah, I'm a big Birkenstock believer. Love my Birkenstocks.
Yep.
Recently purchased a few more. Been wearing them for a long time, and each of my pair are called my Dorises because they're my Birks. Got to put on my Dorises, my brown Dorises, my black Dorises, my white Dorises, my yellow Dorises.
Wow,
Got
you
'em
do
all.
have a lot, eh?
Yeah, I have a few. Well, not that many. And I don't call them my Dorises, but I had to throw it in there. And actually, recently, every time I look down at my Dorises, this is a rare situation for me, but I'm looking down at my Royale Poison Ivy because I've got poison ivy all over my frickin' legs.
Are you serious?
And it's not fun. Yeah.
Wow, how'd you get that? Where do you think you got it?
I know where I got it. I'm just a huge dummy. Part of my lawn.
Up in the back?
Yeah, up in the back. Up in the back. I'm hanging out up in the back. Yeah. It's happened a couple times, unfortunately.
Wow.
But Gotta put on my. I need a pants pun. If I put on my pants pun, I wouldn't have this Royale Poison Ivy problem. You guys got an NBA pants pun?
Pants.
I just keep thinking of the last pants.
Yeah, or my John Long pants.
What about pants down, man down? Nah.
Let's get the pun gun juices flowing because we actually have a question that is pun related a little bit later. So, all right, next one here. Hello, young boys, or shall I say, young men. Do you think we'll see an increase or decrease in the frequency of wedgies in Orlando? Tiddlywinks, looking good. PlayStation, cheers. That's from Joe. Yes, this is a question. Are we going to see more or less wedgies in Orlando, Tass?
I think we're going to see a bit of an uptick. I think this is random guess because it's hard. We've been tracking wedgies, and you just never know when they're coming. You can John Schumann and really look at these numbers every single game, but they're going to surprise you. I think over the years, having looked at the stats this morning, we get them every 26 games in that year that we got to 51. That was the most frequent, or if they slowed down, every 33 games. So there's a big range. We're getting 88 games in terms of the seeding games, the regular season games. So you could expect about 2 to 3, but I think we'll get 4. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to say we're going to get 1 every 22 games. I think the shot will be a little bit off.
Yep.
For guys, the stability, the balance, maybe.
How does the humidity come into it? Because it's going to be a little bit stickier, I think. So I think that works in our favor.
The hands on the ball a little bit stickier.
Just the ball. Yeah, there's a lot of sweat out there. So it's gonna stick in there. I think. I mean. I don't know.
So you like our chances of getting what Tass is saying, maybe like 4 or 5 down there?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're going to see a few more than normal.
Well, what are we at? What are we at when the season went on hiatus?
We're at 36, I'd say we'll get to. Yeah, it seems high.
Well, there was like March was good to us. I remember, like we had like a little run because wedgies come in bunches. Everybody knows that, and there was a nice couple weeks there because we went on a cold spell and then. Yeah, they were kicking up their Tass. So
36, I think we'll get to 40, and that's before the playoffs when there's another 80 or so games. So, yeah, it'll be 42, 43 range, hopefully,
so
ideally.
you don't think 50's in play at all?
No.
Man.
I don't want to be that guy who just throws out predictions just because there's no chance. There's really no chance. Maybe there's going to be less games. Games will be canceled too.
Right.
And I think part of it is conditioning down a little bit, and guys probably won't care as much to get to the hole. So maybe some more 3-point shots, which produce some wedgies as well. Let's go.
So
let's get crazy.
There's a listener out there. I think he's in England, and he's a scientist, and he sort of gave us all the stats and the facts behind it. So if he's listening. Perhaps he could give us a prediction, based on previous history as to what he thinks and how the conditions will affect it, whether it be better or worse.
I mean,
then we know. Come on, Lee, even a scientist is going to tell you we don't have a control group like this. We've never had teams together. We've never had them playing in the hot, humid summer months down all in Florida. There's no way to know. This is uncharted territory. I'm going 10. 10 wedges in 88 games. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. The ball's going to be sticking all the time.
10 in the regular season games. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. So then this guy believes in 50 still. I love it. I love your confidence. Maybe, and we were talking with Josiah Johnson about this, like being the other players in the crowd, maybe them yelling wedgie or brick or stuff like that has an effect on the player shooting too, right? Gets in their psyche a little bit. Like Beverly yelling at LeBron on the wing. And maybe he's a little off, and he's sticking a wedgie more than normal. Anything's possible, guys. Anything's possible. Yeah, 50 is gonna be tough. I like 10 overall. I'm counting the playoffs. So if we get close, if it's exciting in the last couple of weeks, then we'll have something.
Can't wait. Next one here. Hey, podcast goats. Well, thank you. A couple of months back, I sent you guys an email with an unusual sign-off, not knowing if it would make the cut, and it did. To my surprise and delight, people have taken to rhyming the bros at the end of their emails, and I grin from ear to ear at least once or twice a beach stepping episode when I hear the increasingly bizarre lengths people are going to. Good work, all. This guy is taking the credit. This guy is taking the credit for people rhyming the Clipper Bros. Wow. On to his question. Have you ever started something in motion that you were either really proud of or that took on legs that you hadn't expected or wanted? To tenuously link this to the NBA, it might well be that they've started this Disneyland thing in motion that could now be hard to stop when perhaps it'll prove that they should have. Let's hope not. Keep up the good work. I listen to many a podcast. Yours is honestly the best of the bunch. Turn up. Support Black Lives. Important. That's from Paul in Brighton, UK. Wow. Claiming that he started it. If you want your scientist to do something, Lee, tell him to go back to the previous episodes and find out if Paul created this. Trey, you got an answer for this, baby?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what year it was. I think it was 2017, and we were planning Christmas festivities and what we were going to do for the show. We were looking at a bunch of ugly Christmas sweaters. I said, I'll get that Bulls sweater dress. I'll take an XL. Matt Austin, he took it seriously. And let me tell you, an extra large in a sweater dress is not the same as an extra large in a man's sweater. So when Paul says took on legs, let me tell you, I took on legs because there was a lot showing. It was mostly legs. This thing was not a mini dress, but when you're 6'5", it kind of is. I was like, Laura, what am I supposed to do here? Do you have nylons I can wear? Do you got leggings I could throw on? She's like, yeah, I got you.
Yeah, you wore leggings, right?
Yeah, I had to. I had to.
Yeah.
I remember that sweater dress hanging in our office. It was around chairs. It was like, you wrapped it around chairs so it would stretch out as much as possible. It didn't really work, I guess.
Trey's got some curves though. I think you owned that dress when you wore it. It looked pretty nice on you.
Well,
you had the strut.
It was tight in all the right places.
Isn't the answer to this though what we just talked about in the previous question? It's got to be wedgies.
Good point.
Right? I mean, we didn't create the term, but we sure, put it out there, really latched onto the lexicon and got it into the NBA Twitterverse and sort of ran with it. And to this day, still track them. It's been years now. And we sort of are like the wedgie, experts. Or we pretend to be at least.
Wedgie whispers.
Yeah, so I think it's got to be wedgie.
We care more about wedgies than anyone else.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a thing. I think most NBA fans, even the casual NBA fans, sort of knows it. I mean, they use it on broadcasts.
Yep.
Almost every team now says it. And hell, a lot of them still give us shoutouts, even though they still think we're the starters. So that would be my answer. Though I have one more. You know the perfect pump, right, guys? Like when you go to fill up your gas tank and you try and get it exactly on either the amount of gasoline you're putting in terms of the liters or whatever, or the dollar usually, right? Let's put $20 in, try and get it. Well, you don't do, you just do the and try and stop it perfectly, right? You know what I'm talking about, the perfect pump? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I want to get something else going because it hit me the other day, and I think it's just as exciting as the perfect pump. And I'd argue maybe even more so. I don't know how many of you guys, because I'm old, I'm showing my age, but I'll take a vitamin C pill and some dumb men's health pill that probably does nothing, but it puts my mind at ease. So I have two pills, and I've got the classic Monday through Sunday pill collector or whatever you call it, pill box. And so you go through it, you take your 2 pills every day just to keep track, and then it empties out. It's done, and you got to refill it. So like the perfect pump, one of my favorite things to do is to take my bottle of vitamins or whatever it is, and then in one shake, drop 7 into my hand for the week. It's the perfect pill pour. And it's a great feeling, Trey, I'm telling you. Because it's not easy.
Get it, yeah.
It's not easy, but you can do it. There's you don't get it all the time, just like the perfect pump, but there's a little skill to it. And man, it's good. So I want to throw that out there into the world. Let me know about your perfect pill pour. Try it out and try and convince me it's not just as enjoyable as the perfect pump. There you go.
Anything like that, I think, is the greatest feeling. You're playing dominoes and you have to draw 10 of them to start or something like that. So you just reach your hand out, slide them back, and if you get exactly 10, you're like, oh, the perfect pull.
Yeah, the perfect pull, the perfect pill pour, anything. Has to be a P though. You're right.
That's right.
Perfect something else. What do you got, Lee?
Yeah, well, I guess when we went into quarantine here, no one really knew what was going on. No one really knew what to expect, and we'd been opening packs of cards on Instagram Live every Thursday at the office, and it was fun. It was fine. We're having a lot of laughs. And then, coming into quarantine, it was like, well, how are we going to do this every week? And so we started doing it, the group of us. We even got JD roped in there. JD killed it, by the way.
Yep.
And then I thought, you know what, like, maybe I should just try to, invite some other people who are in the NBA world. And, Sarah Kustok came on, Kendall Gill. I've had Xavier McDaniel, Kenny Anderson, Coach George Karl. And today, way back Wednesday, when most people, it would have happened already by the time most people hear this podcast, I would have landed Hall of Famer James Worthy from the LA Lakers.
Wow.
He's coming on today.
Goodness.
So, when this all started, I thought, who knows where this is going to go? But you send out a few emails, you make a few calls, and every now and again you get a little nibble on that line. You got to reel in the big fish. So big game James coming on today, 4 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, and we've enjoyed them so much that the last one with Cabby, we turned actually into like a bonus podcast on the weekend.
Yeah,
which I thought was a really, really fun listen, Lee. I didn't watch the Instagram Live because I'm not going to sit there and watch for 40 minutes on my phone. But you're damn right, I listened to the podcast, and it was great. He was sharing like stories about meeting Michael Jordan and stuff like that. It was awesome.
And that's the idea as well. Hopefully with James Worthy today, it'll be the same thing, and we can turn that into a podcast. And whether it's 20 minutes or 40 minutes or 50 minutes, whatever it is, hopefully it's the same sort of thing. It's a little fun, extra little pod that's a bit different, and someone who can tell you a few stories about what it was like playing back in the day.
Yeah, because the cards are just a jumping off point for stories about those players and stories about the guy's career, if you can.
Yeah. You just want to hear, like it was with Cabby. Like he's been in the industry for so long, and he's met people and he's had some fun stories. So James Worthy was one of the Showtime Lakers, Hall of Famer. So I'm sure he's got some fun stuff to tell.
Not going to be able to get his autograph, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, maybe. We'll see if we can figure something out at the end of it,
Electronic signature.
Just before you go, James, would you mind if I just sent you a poster and you could just scribble it? And get someone to shoot it so I can put it on the gram as well, so it's actually legit. That'd be perfect.
Does Instagram Live have those games like House Party where you can draw on there? Just ask James to sign the screen.
Yeah, interesting. I haven't thought about it. I mean, when you're in that sort of Instagram Live moment, it's hard to sort of then get too distracted with the other stuff. You got to keep focused with the guests. So I mean, there's a lot of comments and questions come through, and keep that up, by the way, everybody. We try to get to them. But
the best part of your Pop and Packs Instagram Live videos are the 5 to 10 minutes before you try and get the guest on, or overcome the technical difficulties of you just saying, all right, got James Worthy coming up. Yeah, I see you out there. Then you give a little shout out, a little talk back and forth. People try and invite themselves on live, and you have to say no. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, I think I've restarted the last 3 guests. I've had to restart because there's been a few connection issues, but that's a good thing about it. It's fine. Once you get there, it's always worth it.
Sure. All right. So James Worthy, go check that one out on our Instagram page. Hopefully by the time you're listening to this, it should be up. And like you said, if it goes well and he's telling great stories, why not turn it into a fun little podcast at least for the weekend? So make sure you subscribe. Any other answers to this?
I got a dumb one. What did I start that kind of took off? It's not quite James Worthy, but it's former NBA player Gustavo Ayon, if you remember him.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the reason was, but I sang his name to the tune of Enrique Iglesias' Bailamos, if I may. Gustavo Ayon, gonna set this pick forever, Gustavo Ayon. Now, people may say that's racist, I guess, if you want to call it that, but you shouldn't. Gustavo Ayon is still mentioned to me every once in a while because I sang, gonna set this pick forever, Gustavo Ayon. And I was so happy. This was on TV. I was so happy with the way I performed it. There's a little smirk after it that's just glorious. I kind of just smirk. I'm so happy with myself. And so,
on the starters.
Yeah, it was on the starters. It was on the starters way back. It's probably still on the YouTubes. I'm sure people are watching it every day. And so Gustavo Ayon, going to set this pick forever. And it still lives. People still talk about it. Gustavo Ayon still making things happen in Europe. He's won like 1 billion championships. Oh, wow. And he's good.
He's going to set those picks forever, I guess. So he's going to be playing forever.
He's picking and rolling for sure.
All right, we got a lot more emails still to read here and answer. But before we do, a quick word from our sponsors.
Guys, it's pool season. otherwise known as chafing time. I've been in the water a lot this last month. I feel lucky to have a pool at my disposal, but I've also been in pain. You know that irritation. You have a swimsuit on all day, take it off, and that liner has produced a little raspberry on the side of a butt cheek, maybe on a leg, but it's definitely near your other berries. I finally know what Chub Rub is all about, and I wish I hadn't. It's not fun. Thankfully, I have the Manscaped Perfect Package 3.0. It's a grooming kit. I'm not calling my package perfect. That's the name of the thing. One of the items in the MPP, let's call it, is an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. Yes! Came in handy. The MPP 3.0, it's fun calling it that, also has a waterproof, cordless body trim and a ton of other liquid formulations. It has a chest shaver, a crop preserver, a crop cleanser. Absolutely everything you need for the summer. And now you can get 20% off and free shipping with the code THEATHLETIC at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com by using the code THEATHLETIC. And for a limited time, subscribers get not one, but 2 free gifts. Feels like I'm watching an infomercial. What do I get? The Shed Travel Bag, a $39 value, and the patented high-performance anti-chafing Manscaped boxer briefs. Anti-chafing briefs, how do they do it? So go to manscaped.com today and use code THEATHLETIC.
You said it was waterproof and cordless. You're not doing it in the pool.
You could.
Oh, you're good though. That's right. Test that filter out in the pool. Here's a question I haven't asked you guys in a long time. Lee, are you listening?
I am.
I'm going to test you here. This is Who Wants Some Trivia, all right? I'm going to
Okay.
give you a bonus point to your horrible performance if you get this right.
Okay, yeah.
If you were to guess on average how many days people in the U.S. have to wait to see a doctor, what would you say?
15.
Wrong.
Minutes.
That's wrong. People on average have to wait around 29 days to see a doctor in major U.S. cities. Yeah, basically a month. And if you're dealing with a condition like erectile dysfunction, you want treatment ASAP. You also, if possible, want to avoid actually going to a doctor's office at all right now. So listen up. Our friends at Roman, and yes, they are our friends, I let them borrow my ladder once, have spent years building a digital platform that can connect you with a doctor licensed in your state, all from the comfort of your home. Roman makes it convenient to get the treatment you need on your schedule, complete a free online visit, and you'll hear back from a U.S. licensed physician within 24 hours. And if the doc decides that treatment is right for you, Roman's Pharmacy can ship you your medication to you with free 2-day shipping. You're going to get that medication, then maybe you can try and get the perfect pill pour, and then let me know about it. You also get free unlimited follow-ups with your doctor anytime you have questions. With Roman, there are no commitments, and you can cancel anytime. Just make sure you ask for your ladder back. So if you're struggling with ED, go to getroman.com/nodunks for a free online visit and free 2-day shipping. All right, next one. Hey, NDC. I've been listening since the pre-score days and loving every minute of it. Thank you for the amazing content and for using your platform to speak out on important social issues. In 2001, I got to go to a Celtics picnic for fans. I went to get some food, and in front of me at the burger line was soon-to-be draft pick and future Hall of Very Gooder, Joe Johnson. He turned around to me and complained, "They don't have mayo?" My mind was blown. I was 15 at the time and had been a straight ketchup, mustard, and pickles guy. I tried it at my next opportunity, the mayo, and loved it immediately. I credit ISO Joe with opening my eyes to the joy of mayonnaise on mostly any sandwich, especially burgers. My questions. Are you guys pro mayo on a burger? I would count special sauce that includes mayo as a yes, although Lee will surely find a loophole. And have you ever gotten great advice from an NBA player other than how to produce male offspring? Remember, it starts with an O, Possum. Thanks, Jason. Okay, before we get to mayo talk and everybody's opinions on mayo and putting them on burgers, I wanted to clarify something about that Opossum line there from Jason. I did you guys wrong. All right, I need to apologize. I guess it was the last Beach Steppin podcast. I don't know when we were talking about it. But I said, because I'd found out from a friend who I trusted so much, that opossums and possums were the same thing. They were just spelled differently. You could just spell them differently, and most people just called opossums, however you want to say it, just possums. Well, I was wrong. At Joseph Currency clarified on Twitter, and he gave me all the links I needed to do my own research. They are different animals. So opossums are generally called possums in North America. Okay, that's where the confusion started. The furry animal's got the pointed snout and the sharp teeth, and it's got like a pouch in its belly. But possums can be a completely different species, Lee, that lives in Australia and New Guinea and Indonesia and elsewhere in the Pacific. They share a lot of similarities, but they are different. So guys, I want to apologize.
Which buddy was it? Which buddy was it who gave you the bad info? You're always telling us that your buddy Dub, your buddy Grish. I mean, throw this one under the bus.
This was my buddy Jared, and I know he's listening. And I will say, I mean, I had people tweeting at me, like, what are you talking about, Skeets? Jared did, the day after I talked about it on the podcast, he did a little more research, and he's like, uh-oh, I screwed up. So even he was like, he said, you know, he grew up in the South here, and he's just like, that was just not known. We didn't know about this other species. We thought opossums and possums were the same thing, but they are different. So, oh my God, I feel so good getting that off my chest. It's like
Lee Ellis here. There's no difference. I don't think there's a difference. Just like he doesn't believe Magic Johnson has a tweeter, I don't think there's a difference here in North America. A possum and an opossum are the same in North America. Yes,
in North America, yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's different. Maybe the Australian version is different from the one that we see here in the United States. But I do think in North America they're the same. This is a magic scenario.
That, from what I could tell, Trey, you're absolutely right. That is correct. But, you know, it's a big old world out there, Trey.
Big old world out there, that's right.
There is another type of possum. They look similar. It looks similar, honestly. But I guess it's a little bit different. Anyway.
Just like there's a big world of mayonnaise out there. You can get lots of different options of mayonnaise, but Jason, don't include other mayos in this. Let's just talk straight mayo. Do you want it on a burger? Me, myself, and I, 100%. 100%. I think mayo has become my number one condiment on a burger. It is so gloriously good, and I don't need olive oil mayo. I don't need a light mayo. I don't need a Hellman's, I don't know, offshoot. I just need, just give me the mayo. A light mayo is not bad, but don't throw any other crap in there. No.
See, if you're going to go mayo, don't go light mayo. Go all in. Get all the fat and all the cholesterol you can, because it's tasty. If you have light mayo, you may as well not put anything on, because it tastes like nothing, I think. It just tastes empty. So for that one moment, that's when you're just like, right, I'm going to really just take it all in here.
You put it on all your vegetables, vegetarian man?
No, but you know, sometimes we have a little dollop of mayo. Yeah. You know, but when you're going to indulge in mayo, you can't. It's not like, you know, you can say, well, I'm having the light mayo and it's just as good. It's not worth it. Not worth your while. So. All mayo.
No, it's not worth your while at all. Mayo sucks and is disgusting. It should be nowhere near a burger or any sandwich for that matter. I got a weird thing with mayo. It's like, which one of those jackass guys had a weird thing with mustard, I think it was, or something like that? That's me with mayo. I hate the look of it. I hate the smell of it. I hate I just don't like it at all.
That's crazy because you love eggs, man. It's like all eggs.
I do. I know, but I like them in more of a shape.
Egg. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, more of a shape that I feel confident about.
It's disrespectful to the eggs. That's why you hate mayo. How dare they cream it up like that? Ridiculous.
I mean, it's so silly because I obviously have a lot of other condiments that I like. Shout out to Sweet Baby Ray's that are cold, but I don't love mayo being cold either. I think I don't know what it is. I have no idea. JD, where do you fall in the pro or cons against mayo?
I'm pretty indifferent, to be honest. I mean, I like mayo. I like mayo on sandwiches and like tuna sandwich and that kind of thing. And I put mayo on a burger before, but you know, it doesn't really do it. I'm kind of with Lee. It just sort of doesn't really add to the burger experience. Just stick with the classics for me. Yeah.
And the classics for you are mustard,
ketchup, mustard, pickles.
Yeah.
The
relish. Okay.
Yeah.
So Trey, are you pro mayo?
Oh yeah, I'm 50-50 on this. At our house, you know, if we have a ground beef around here. We're making 4 burgers, 2 for me, 1 mayo, 1 the classic move here with the ketchup, mustard, and pickles. I've even started using mayonnaise to make my my grilled cheeses, like on the outside, rather than butter. People suggest the mayo. You're losing the butter taste, but you're getting a lot of crispiness. And it's a lot easier to spread mayo than butter, let me tell you that.
Is that a Bon Appetit tip there, Trey? I know. I heard Nora talking about that too.
I had heard it before. I was like, there's no way to do this. It's going to look ridiculous. But I saw them doing it. And it turns out you can cook mayo. You can warm mayo up, Skeets. So maybe if that's your problem.
Yeah.
Little warm mayo.
If somebody's making sandwiches for a camping trip or a hiking trip and there's mayo on it, I'm gonna eat it. And I'm not gonna puke. I just don't. If I'm making my own sandwich, I'm never putting mayo near it. That's just the way I am. Damn it. But hey, do you? And so it sounds like a lot of people, Jason, are pro mayo.
What about when your mum pulls those carrots out? Does she put some veggie plate with some mayo on the side there?
No, I gave you the mom update, right?
Yeah,
about the carrots. Yeah. For all you listeners, my mom eventually did text, and it was basically just you can leave carrots forever in the ground. Yeah. The longer, the better. You guys are getting a little too antsy, I think, and wanting to. Yeah, you're seeing the greens, and you want to pull them out, and you're not getting anything there. So just let them be, guys. Let them be.
Yeah. All right, next email here. Hey, nude Dirk Tostinos. I'm sitting here on a Sunday watching the American Kennel Club Dog Sports. Is that real? For each event, dogs are compared to athletes. For instance, dogs running in the fastest dog competition are all compared in some ways to Usain Bolt. But then they get to the agility course. And guess who those dogs are compared to? Russell Westbrook. I'm a huge OKC fan. Russ is my favorite athlete of all time. He's still the heart and soul of OKC. And until now, I have always been on team Westbrook is a cat. But having the American Kennel Club come out and use him as the agility comp is a pretty big blow. Spurlock, Muffin Times, Opossum. Again, had a lot of those this week. That's from MK. Now, this is a long-standing debate. Is Russell Westbrook a cat or a dog? It goes back to our Basketball Jones days. And MK coming around to Russell Westbrook being a dog. Trey, what do you think?
I'm shocked, and it's a paradigm shift for me as well. It's on our merch survey. A bunch of people took our merch survey, and the very last question is Russell Westbrook a cat or a dog? 55.6% of people think he's a cat. I thought he was a cat too, but if dog experts say he's a dog, the guy's a dog. I don't know another way. They would know better than us.
He's saying he's a dog at a dog show. I mean, what else are they going to say?
Yeah, Jack Russell Terrier Westbrook. Yeah.
They could have picked any other basketball player, and the one they think of is Russell Westbrook. He's got to be a dog. I mean, I know they don't put cat shows on TV. I would watch a cat show, but I don't know who they're comparing to.
This has always been the problem with this question. That's why it's a great question. Physically, he's a dog. Yeah, he's a go-getter. He's athletic. He's gonna run the field like crazy. But personally, I think he has the attitude of a cat. And JD, I know we've talked about this before. You're pro cat for Westbrook, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I'm going to say this. This may be controversial. Cats are more athletic than dogs.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. You're right.
They always land on their feet. My dog lands on anything but his feet if he falls down.
Right.
Yeah, I think in general you might be right there, JD, but I see Russell Westbrook as a greyhound, just completely running as fast as he can every single time he's out on the court. You think the tongue out the side, he's chasing that rabbit, he doesn't know how to stop. But I have come round to agreeing that off the court, he's a cat. He's definitely he's prissy. And he's he doesn't want anyone to bother him or to do anything. But if you do like him and you're on his good side, then he will definitely sort of go up to you and what is it called when a cat goes up and rubs his body past you and stuff?
Are you saying Russell Westbrook is going up to people rubbing his body on
the ones that he likes? Yes, I think so. So
you're a cat.
He's a dog on the court, but he's a cat off the court.
Right, that's why it's always been the question.
Yeah, because we did ask this question to NBA players. Yes, we did. And the first part of your answer there about him being a greyhound, you said. Well, some people, Ryan Anderson, great answer. I went back and watched this video. Ryan Anderson said, "Wow, I think he's more of a hybrid cat. Actually, he's a puma. I call him a puma. So yeah, I guess he's more of a cat." Great answers. I actually didn't think this video was any good, but going back, there were some good ones. Dwayne Wade was like some guys, he was like, "You're really setting me up here." He like a lot of other men think, "Oh, I can't call another man a cat. That's just wrong." So he asks, how are you asking, personality wise? And I defined it for him. He's like, "Well, I guess he's a cat dog. He could be both." Brooke Lopez, though, the best answer. He said, "He's a dog." And then he threw some popcorn in his mouth because he was eating popcorn at All-Star Media Day. And I asked, "Why do you say dog?" And he said, "Because I'm a cat person." And everybody loved it around the table.
Those are good answers.
Brooke Lopez does not like Russell Westbrook, apparently.
Didn't we ask Russ himself?
Oh, yeah.
And what did he say?
He was the end. He was the end piece. And while I was asking him the question, he literally had his back turned to him.
Yeah, like a cat.
Very cat-like.
Very cat-like, yeah. Exactly. And his answer was, "I'm a wolf."
And I guess a wolf's more a dog, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely didn't want to call himself a cat.
Yeah.
He gave himself the elevated dog, which is a wolf.
I'm with you, JD, too. Cats are more agile. They have more agility than a dog. But a dog is more powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, really? Have you ever seen a tiger take down an antelope?
Oh, no, we're tired.
Well, that's a cat.
Okay, you're right. You're
Well,
right,
the wolf's
man.
a dog. I mean, like,
Would
come
you
on.
put Mayo on a cat?
A possum
I
is
don't
an
know.
opossum, depending on where you are in the world.
All right, great question.
Did we see? Did you guys see the cat lady from the Tiger King? What's her name?
Carol Baskin?
Carol Baskin. She wished Zion Williamson a happy birthday. I was very confused. Carol Baskin trying to pull in NBA fans right now. What's going on? Get out of our world, Carol Baskin.
Cool cats and kittens. She stole that from Kelly Dwyer, by the way.
Kelly Dwyer,
He's
for
been
sure,
saying that
yeah.
forever. Yeah. Oh,
Hey, just before you go, speaking of Usain Bolt, big congratulations to Usain. He became a father.
yeah.
He's,
Awesome name. Go ahead. Yeah.
Olympia Lightning Bolt. He named his daughter.
What?
I mean,
Great.
That's awesome.
it's an incredible name.
Yep.
Incredible name. Yes, congratulations. All right. Couple more here. This one. Good day, no skunks. I recently received a kombucha brewing kit as a gift, and the instruction booklet is very insistent that you must name your batch of kombucha. I was wondering if you guys could help me out. I've flavored it with strawberries and ginger, and it is currently in the secondary fermentation phase. Perhaps a round of NBA kombucha pun gun? I'll start us off with Scobie Bryant. It's good. Let's hear yours. Thanks for all the great work you do. Wear a mask. Black Lives Matter. Arrest the cops that killed Breonna Taylor. Yes. Zach from Wisconsin. So why not? It's been so long. We don't really have the drop going. Why don't we fire up the pun gun, JD? NBA kombucha pun gun. Have at it, boys. What do you got?
It's pun gun time.
A one-time All-Star from the Orlando Magic is Nikola Kombuchevich.
Okay.
All I really know about kombucha, it's definitely Mark overpriced. But if you make it at home, maybe you can get a Brent decent price, or a good batch could be a Ronnie price. I don't know, Ronnie price.
Here's all I know about kombucha. It's has to be fermented Davis.
Ooh, I was saying you brew it using fermentation prince.
Ooh.
Very good for your Bismack gut biombo.
Yes. You have to Ronnie Brewer it.
It's I know kombucha can kill a lot of Robert bacteria. Do you have a favorite kombucha brand, Lee? Because I know mine. It's Health Weight Organic.
Ah, nice.
I'm not participating in this one because kombucha is Jose Garbage Hosa.
Come on, JD, you got to start drinking it so you can get your mic antioxidantones.
I looked at antioxidants for so long. I'm like, I can't find one.
tough.
I can't find one.
That's a scam reddish.
My favorite flavor is the Will the Trilogy from GTS. GTS. I don't know, something.
All right. Is that it? Calling it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bucci Norris.
Oh yeah,
So
nice
simple. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, there's a Ronnie Brewer in there.
Yeah, somebody
Yeah,
said it.
got him.
Oh,
Yeah.
Corey, sorry,
It's
man.
not. It's not an official pun gun until somebody repeats one that was said 10 seconds. That always happens.
Is ooglies a thing in kombucha? Ooglies?
Excuse me.
I was looking up terms of kombucha and ooglies. So I was thinking oogly Ananobi. No,
What's an oogly?
I don't know. It's like strands of yeast in it.
Yeah, there's gonna be a
So
slimy
gross.
something or
Kombucha
other.
is so disgusting. I can't believe you drink that stuff. Ugh.
Well, you usually when you do brew one, correct me if I'm wrong, Lee, you make it in a jar foreman.
Yeah. Like jar foreman, you can't leave it too long though.
All right,
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something else.
let's go. Let's wrap this back. We got one more here. What we got, Tess?
Dear NDI boys, Big Dawes from Guelph, Ontario here. First time, long time, and I gotta say I miss hearing the sweet hot fire that was 4-Bar Friday. So in hopes of invigorating your rap brains and getting some bars out to the people, I'm about to hit you with a question doused in some heat. Mellis, Ellis, Kirby, and Skeets, you 4 dudes are pretty sweet. I've listened a long time, and I love what you do. Don't worry, JD, you're my true number 2. You make the magic happen like a zipper on a jacket. Master of the bleeps, no one needs that racket. One day I'd like to meet Steve Austin, because I think he's neat, but he's no Matt Austin.
Boo to those rats.
You're just starting to boo now?
Well,
Kombucha to you, Big Dawes. So Mellis, Ellis, Kirby, and Skeet, give me one wrestler you'd love to meet. Turd cups, attracting flies. Awesome. Hey, we appreciate the effort, Big Dawes. He also says, Gary is my true number 1. Real TBJ fans will know.
oh, shout out to Gary.
Big
Turd
Dawes
cups
does that.
attracting flies. Awesome. Might be the best bar there in that whole thing.
I don't know. Rhyming Austin with Austin.
Austin, yeah.
Spelled differently.
What do you got? I guess he's got the question there. Give me one wrestler you'd love to meet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an F&F fan from the very start. Little tiny feet, but I like fast cars. So the answer for me, well, it's not a shock. You already know I want to meet The Rock.
Wow. I'm going to put the work in, TK. I definitely didn't write anything. Oh.
Yeah, The Rock is well known, but he ain't the GOAT. The one guy I want to meet is the Dragon, Ricky Steamboat.
Tess, did you write anything? I didn't. I feel like a loser. Oh, wow. That's fantastic.
Bruno Sammartine, no, I did not.
Oh, man. Well, who would you like to meet anyway, if you could? One wrestler. JD, same question for you, too.
Can he be dead? Aren't
No.
they all dead? I'm kidding.
No.
The Rock. Of course I'm meeting The Rock. Yeah. It's gotta be.
It'd be a good. You'd want to get that photo up on Instagram for sure. Trey and I met The Rock once at a cottage.
Yeah, he's a little smaller in person.
He's a lot smaller. I couldn't believe you were towering over him. That was crazy. JD, you got a wrestler? You know
I got
what
a wrestler I'd like to meet Paige. I just watched Fighting with My Family. It's directed by Stephen Merchant. It's her life story. It was awesome. I loved it. And it was so I just loved to meet her.
I think my answer for this would be The Rock is an obviously great answer. I guess maybe The Undertaker, like in full character. He played basketball, I think, too. Talk to him about hoops. I'd meet him.
Wait, you think he's talking hoops when he's in character? Probably not saying much.
Yeah, that's a good point. Anyway, I'd like to try on his hat. I'd love to see Matt Austin in that hat. God. All right, let's call it there. Coming up tomorrow, we got a brand new squad episode. This one I think is going to be a blast. We're going to see who can draft the best Disney starting lineup, guys. Yeah, we're making a Disney hoops team, but we have different categories that we'll be drafting from. JD, there will be a Star Wars character category. There will be a Disney princess category. There will be an OG Mickey Mouse character, like Legends category. So it's going to be a lot of fun building our best Disney starting lineup. Can't wait for that. Squad tomorrow on Thursday. Keep your questions coming, guys. For next week's Beach Steppin' Pod, email us nodunks@theathletic.com. Tweet them in at nodunksync. Don't forget to leave your boys those sweet 5-star ratings and reviews on iTunes. Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thank you for joining us. And remember, Paul from Brighton in the UK created that. He created the Clipper Bros. He made the Clipper Bros. His offspring are the Clipper Bros. And the offspring of those Clipper Bros are those rhymes that you hear every week in Beach Steppin'. Way to go, Paul in Brighton, UK.
Brace the day, people.
You could stay